Good evening. This is David Lynn, and you're joining me for another episode of Coffee Talk, number 561. It is Saturday, right at 7 p.m. It is February the 14th, 2026, and we're here for an hour or so of Coffee Talk. So, welcome, and as people come in, we'll get started. KP Heathen, my friend, how are you doing? Thank you for coming. How are things in Louisiana? I don't think we're going to have much more cold weather. Don't think we're going to have any more freezes. We'll be coming into spring. Wasn't really a bad winter for us here. My daughter and her husband are up. My younger child. Um, they're up in Fort Worth, Texas, and they had about a week's worth of frozen weather up there. It snowed, stayed frozen up there for about a week. They were frozen in for about a week. Um, they don't get a lot of snow up there, but they got snow. We didn't have any snow here, but we did have a few days of freezing. Got down to the mid 20s overnight, and it'd be up in the 40s during the day. Didn't stay, below freezing any of those nights. We had a total of maybe 3 or 4 nights of freezing weather this last winter. They're usually pretty cold here. Parade. I will see about checking that. Make a note. Watch KP's parade video. I will do that, sir. In Unkael. How are you doing, Enrique Trevino? And Uncle Al, Bullfrog79, I just got through watching one of your videos, Uncle Al. Pretty good rant. A little violent, though, but it was a good rant. I enjoyed it, all 14 minutes of it. 6 in the house and 5 likes. Please leave a like to support the channel. It will be greatly appreciated. Pre-retirement days. How are you doing? Pre-retirement days, comfort food, and Betty. Thank you for coming in. 6 in the house and 6 likes. And I am drinking water with lemonade powder mix. A sachet of lemonade. Put my bottled water up in the freezer. Ooh, got a little ice in it. Good stuff. Good stuff. Gary, how are you doing, sir? Got a good puzzle going there, Gary. Yep. Water with Lemonade Talk with David Lynn. Well, Uncle Al's always saying pocket dump. 3 things you need to carry. Some form of cutting tool. I always carry a pocket knife, some pocket knife. This is a heavy knife. I carry it sometimes. It's got a clip on it. I always have some matches on me. I mean, I've got lighters and I've got flint and steel, but I'll carry. Sometimes I carry the little book matches like you'll have in your MREs, and sometimes I carry these. You get a bunch of these. You get a 10 pack of these for 99 cents. One of the things is still cheap. Made in America. 99 cents. 10 pack of these. 30 plus matches. 32 matches in each little pack. And then your choice of a protein bar of some form, or candy bar, whatever. I like Cliff Bars myself. They come in different flavors and they're very they've got a lot of calories and calorie dense. Hello, Anne Marie. So, first thing I'd like to talk about this evening is national debt. I mean, I can change up what I'm talking about, but I thought I would mention the national debt stands at $38.65 trillion. $38.65 trillion. $38.65 trillion. So the national debt is the total amount of outstanding borrowing by the U.S. federal government over the nation's history. And it really got out of control um, after 9/11, after the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan put a lot of debt on. Obama put a lot of debt on. Um, COVID put a lot of debt on. It's really gone up. Everybody put a lot of debt on. Spread around. Hello, how you doing, Anne Marie Angel? And my friend Yoda. Hello, Peter. The RAV1. How am I doing? I'm tired. I've been tired all day. I have been tired all month. Um, I'm slowing down. I was, you know, I tell people when you hitting retirement age, a lot of times I'm not in shape the way I used to be. I don't exercise the way I used to. I can't do what I used to do. You know, you want to talk about glory days back when I was like 40. Um, I can remember how I used to be, but those are memories. That's not the actual. Like right now, I'm glad you're having some good coffee. Nothing better than a good cup of coffee. I don't do what I used to do. I have I've been declared a diabetic, so I take lots of pills for that. I take cholesterol medication for high cholesterol. They say they're going to change it when I go back in. A couple of weeks when we're to have spring break, I'm going to go back in for more work, and they're going to change my medication. I'm taking 40 milligrams of something right now. The name escapes me. But I take 40 milligrams of daily of an anti-cholesterol medication. About 6 months ago, they upped it from 20 milligrams to 40 milligrams. I take blood pressure medication. They've upped that. I take medication for my blood sugar. They've upped that. They've added to that. I'm probably about 25 pounds overweight. Want me to run down how I am? Yeah, and you can wind up being injured. Yes, that's true. All right, Gary, did somebody say something they shouldn't have? Who did we block? I suspect I know who got blocked. Oh, well, Gary, I trust you to do the right thing. Fire Time Studios. Three subscribers. Three subscribers, 8 videos. Oh, okay. I haven't been watching, but I trust you. Oh, crap. Mm. I was going to block him. Dag nabbit. Hidden by Yoda. Good thing Thank you, Dave. Appreciate it. I'm not as fast as I used to be doing that. Might be I'm being visited by trolls right now. Yeah. Well, I appreciate your judgment, Gary. If you think something's trollish, or if you think it needs to be, feel free to do it. I mean, I've got a hardcore of friends that come into me pretty consistently, and they're all good people. But sometimes the new people coming in are not necessarily people, they might be something else. Now, where was I at? Let's see. Okay, so I mentioned the national debt. In a given physical year, which is like 365 days, when spending exceeds revenue, example, money from the federal income tax or combination of however we bring in money, a budget deficit results. The problem with national debt is that no one cares enough to do much about it. The generation as a whole has been raised to live beyond means. Mr. Cabrera, how are you doing, Jerry? Thank you for coming. Let me see. Where are you at here, Jerry? All right, Jerry, you got a blue rich for you there. If this country as a whole learned to spend less than it makes, we get ahead. That is true. You got to spend less than you make. So, to pay for this deficit, the federal government borrows money by selling marketable securities such as treasury bonds, bills, notes, floating rate notes, and treasury inflation protected securities, TTPS. And we're up to our butts in debt. Literally. Each man, woman, child in the United States owes over $100,000. That includes the babies, and that includes the people under their deathbeds. Every individual in the United States owes somewhere around $115,000 if everybody's going to chip in and pay for it. Well, I hope things go well for you on that. I like an MPP, maximum PowerPoint, MPPT charge controller, maximum PowerPoint, MPP, myself. But I would not do anything without a charge controller. How are you doing, Holly? How is your husband? Happy Valentine's Day, young lady. I'm not into schemes of any kind. I am not into schemes. Hello, Julie West. Yeah, well, I hope things turn out well. The latest of the grandson and my daughter looking right at the camera. Thank you. Yes, I'm blessed. I was looking at some stuff about Europe. Their population's aging. They don't have enough young people. It's going to be to the point where um, every two young people, in addition for paying for themselves, will wind up having to pay for somebody who's retired to support. That's how bad it is over there. Hello, Verna. How you doing? And Susanna Morrison. Hello. Beautiful young lady over in the Philippines. Well, getting on with my version of a rant, and I don't have a lot of energy to really rant it out, but I'll talk about it. Uh, they regret the one child policy. Yeah, I'm sure they do. Fraud proven. Fraud in the election of 2020. Georgia, yeah, election fraud. And they're desperate to try to deny it. There's a bunch of boxes missing. And yep, illegal aliens. Trump administration's deported about 500,000 of them. Uh, Going after criminals, but they got a bunch of them that weren't well. They came here illegally, but that was some of them. That was their big crime, is that they came here illegally. But then there were some of them that were legitimate criminals. A lot of them that they've been deporting have been legitimate criminals. I mean, not just coming over illegally, but I mean committing all sorts of crimes, either where they came from or here or both. Insurrectionists. A lot of the blue states. They're fighting deportations. They're actively fighting the federal government on deportations. If that's not insurrection, I don't know what is. Communists. Communists are underfoot. They are funding most of the crap going on right now. They have got people that they deploy to cause trouble. Paid agitators, protesters, promoting the insurrection, making it look worse than it actually is. I mean, they deployed these people. Socialists, at the point where I can't tell the difference between a socialist and a communist. They're nuts. They want to bring down the country. They want the government to control everything. They want the government to own everything. They want the sheeple to fall in line and do what they're told. Antifa. You don't hear a lot about Antifa now. They have been declared a terrorist, a domestic and foreign terrorist organization. I don't hear a lot about the government going after them. They know who they are, a lot of them. They can start rounding them up. I would. The blue state debts. Have you noticed how the big blue states are all in debt, majorly? Deficit spending. The big cities that basically choke the blue states. The rural areas, the smaller areas, tend to vote red. The big blue cities, where the bulk of their population's at, their voting base is at, cause much of the trouble. What do you do about it? How's that getting started for a rant, Dave? And I am drinking, almost got it done. I'm drinking some lemonade mix, little sachets of lemonade, and a bottle of cold water. I had it up in the freezer, got it a little too cold. It started freezing up on me. Yes, California. Uncle Al lives in a socialist paradise out there. Yeah, there's a lot that need to be. Rocket, how are you doing? Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, well, we're just overrun with dumb people. The education system, they're grooming stupidity. You know, it's a sad state of affairs. It really is. I don't know what to tell you. As things warm up, the nuts will be out in force. Right now, we're in the middle of a limited government shutdown. They don't want to fund Homeland Security. They don't want to fund immigration. They don't want to fund any of the means of dealing with the mess. They're in favor of it. Another big thing that's going to be a big fight. They're desperate to avoid um, people having to show ID when they vote. They want illegals to vote. You know how they'll vote, most of them. Um, how do you think they win elections these days? If 85% of the population is against illegals voting, and that includes their own voter base, it's the leadership knowing that they can't get elected otherwise. Yeah, they can get elected in their dump areas, but they can't get elected generally or nationally when um, it's a legitimate election. When they clamp down on illegal voting, there's a difference in the elections. And they're desperate to avoid that so they can get back into power. They're desperate to pick up a few seats during the midterms so that they have a means to block what the Trump administration is doing for the next 2 years. They hope to be able to get back into power. Somebody else will be president a couple of years from now that won't be so difficult to deal with. Or they'll have another useful idiot like 46. You don't hear about him since he's out of office. Wonder how his cancer's going. Don't think he'll be around much longer. I'm pretty sure they keep him medicated and ice creamed up. That's one of the things you used to always see. He'd be out someplace and he'd have one of these super big ice cream cones I used to be jealous of. I really can't eat ice cream. Every once in a while I cheat and I'll go to Dairy Queen and I'll have a regular cone. And he'd always have these cones that's like, good God Almighty, is that a 4-scooper? You know, he'd have this monster ice cream cone. And then they ask him, what kind of ice cream are you eating, Mr. President? What flavor is it today? Did they ask him anything tough? Hell no. You know. They had the auto they had the auto pin in overdrive, didn't they? Good God Almighty. Great cloudy day. How are you doing? Sorry, I'm not paying attention to greet folks. I've been on a little foray into my thoughts. Gray cloudy day. Levin watching, 19 likes. Thank you. Yeah, all the dead people voting. ID in the U.S. is easy to get. Yeah, it's very easy to get ID. Very easy to get ID. You got to have ID if you want to bank. You want to get a check cash, you got to show ID. You know. You got a driver's license? That's an ID. You know. I'm always being told I need to get a passport. The only place out of the United States I've ever been is Mexico. I've been over the border on a number of occasions. Never had to have a passport for that. Never was asked for any sort of ID or anything. Uh, I I got stopped at a checkpoint one time. Looked in. You American? You're right. I said, you're right. I started laughing at him. Have a good day. Oh, man. I'm doing as well as can be expected. I think we all are. I'm glad you're doing wonderful today. Well, yeah, I guess. Both of my wives have been Hispanic. Um, my daughter from, I can say my current wife, um, our daughter looks Anglo. She doesn't look Hispanic. She's got the. My daughter from my first wife, I guess her genes were a little bit stronger than mine because she does look Hispanic, you know. And her child, I've shown pictures. This is my firstborn from my first marriage, and her newborn son, Ulysses, and Gigi, my daughter. Um, she does look Hispanic. Melinda Elliott, how are you doing? Thank you for stopping by. Well, I tell you, I was reading somewhere there had been like 6 major accidents, trucking accidents, this in the past year, notable trucking accidents involving illegals, non-citizens, driving rigs, trucking. And several of them had licenses issued from California. So they issue driver's licenses to illegals. I think New York does that as well. Yeah. I don't know. April starts the summer of love, according to Uncle Al. Say maybe a coup or something. Oh, you never know. We're sending a second carrier group over to the Persian Gulf. We may be intervening in Iran Their people have been suffering under the ayatollahs, the mullahs, or whatever you want to call them, radical Islam incorporated, and they've killed so many of their own people. It's not funny. They've been weakened, but their people are not armed. And I think half the population's not even Muslim over there. But the non-Muslims get suppressed, and they get abused and victimized. So I am absolutely horrible. Belinda's Country Living, how are you doing, Belinda? Thank you for coming in. Please leave a like to support the channel. Good to see you, young lady. Well, I'm so sorry that you've been sick. I'm hope you're feeling better. Oh, I don't know about that. I honestly do believe Cuba will be a state. It, maybe not in my lifetime, maybe in my lifetime. The thing about the Cubans, they're very conservative, and they hate their government. They've learned about, especially their exile community in Florida. Oh, they know about socialists, and they know about the Democrats. They know all about the socialists and the Democrats, communists. Yeah, they're on the verge. They are on the verge of crashing. Cuba is on the verge. The government's on the verge of falling. We are doing what we can to suppress their communist government. We're basically choking them out for fuel. Well, that is true. That is true. They need to be more vocal. I tell you what, Marco Rubio's vocal. He's vocal about it. He's a good man. I would vote for him. Think he'd make an excellent president. Willie Jilly, welcome. Yeah, they're very limited on their fuel. They're getting very little fuel in. They produce very little of their own fuel. So most of their most of the country is dark 20 hours a day. They don't have power 20 hours a day. Well, that's true. You know, sometimes you got to work with people you don't like. It's life. You don't get to choose. You don't get to choose. It's like I've said, one of the great injustices of life is not being able to choose your relatives. You know, you can't choose who you're related to. You're pretty much stuck with what you have. Sugar cane, yes, they produce sugar cane, bananas, tobacco. I don't know if they still make. I don't. I'm not a smoker, but from what I understand, they used to make the preferred cigars, Cuban cigars. They would secretly, bring them in. The rich people would secretly bring them in, smoke them. 259,000 Chinese troops in security forces helping Canadian military forces to build up. I don't think Canada has 25,000 troops, Uncle Al. Yeah, tourism. They traditionally have a very literate populace. They put out some excellent medical, that they've got a lot of doctors. A lot of them have left. They can't get medicine. A lot of people trained, you know, nursing, doctors, physicians, practitioners. I truly do not believe we would allow Canada to bring in 250,000 Chinese troops. I do not believe that would be the case, Uncle Al. Yeah. Huh. God bless you, Holly. You're a good wife. Yeah, the West Coast has just gone to hell, hasn't it? Call it the left coast. It's gone to hell. We'd have a hell of a time rooting them out. Shit, excuse my language. The damned insurrectionists up there in the north and the east would welcome them. You know, the idiots would welcome the damn Chinese coming in. Just pathetic. Oh, I'm sure they'd love to. I'm sure they'd love to get into Alaska. if it would never happen, but if I was in charge, we would not have the problems we have now. I would take care of those problems. Of course, we probably have to have a lot more crematoriums. They'd be used quite a bit more than they are right now. Yeah, Sharia law. Yeah, they want religious police. They'll have everybody wearing burqas. Could you imagine Uncle Al in a burqa? He likes to wear those. He likes to wear stuff on his head. Could you imagine him in a burqa? Boola, boola, boola. Oh God. Sorry, Uncle Al. I just had a picture of you wearing some of that Sharia garb that they that they push on women. Oh dear God, I'm having fun on that one. Oh, yeah. The mayor of London's a Muslim. There are people over in England saying they wouldn't go to London. That's where a lot of them are at. They have something like 7 million foreign born over there, and England's not that big a place. Oh man, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Crazy. We live in crazy times. We really do. You talk about the end of days, the end times, the Lord returning. Revelations say that the Antichrist will go into the temple and violate the temple, declare himself God. Well, they have to rebuild the temple. They want to rebuild the temple. They want to build the third temple. They hadn't done it. But when that happens, yeah, everything is upside down, sideways, and flipped. I have nothing against the sombrero. Nothing against that. Nothing against the Mexican poncho. Uncle Al, the 50-mile circle. Uncle Al would say I live in a 50-mile circle, but I don't. I live over 100 miles from where I was born. A little over 100 miles. 110 miles maybe from where I was born. So, sorry, Uncle Al, I don't fit in that one. I've got a couple of new um, thumbnails. I posted them in my doing my posts. apocalyptic with me in the image, you know. I did a short. I stretched one out 15 seconds and did a short. The Road Warrior theme music, Tina Turner. Got about 350 views. But you know, it is what it is. Things are the way they are. If you do not have a couple of weeks of food saved up, canned food, bottled water, your medications, you need to be able to survive a couple of weeks in case of a power outage, something happens, storms, various things. If you want to build up a supply for you and your family, that's a good idea. You need a good self-defense weapon, maybe a couple of them. Shotgun's a good self-defense weapon. A revolver. Um, carry have a carry bag in your vehicle in case you break down. Has what you need to get home. It's been a while since I've done a video of carry bags. I probably need to do a new carry bag video. There's a lot of videos I'd like to redo that I've done if you want to check through my catalog of what I've done in the past. I've got some good stuff there, preparedness stuff. I encourage people to, yeah, social science. Well, that sounds good, Holly. Those old wool military blankets. My father brought some home from the war. They'll keep you warm in winter. They'll keep you warm in winter if you're cold natured. We do what we do. We try to do what we do. I I'm about, let's see, 34 short of my next giveaway. So if you want to be in my drawing, the rules for my giveaways are leave me a like and a supportive comment on each of the last 5 videos I will have released, long form videos I will have released when I hit that next number. Every 100 new subscribers, I've been doing a giveaway video or giveaway drawing. And there haven't been a lot of people that have been qualifying because there haven't been a lot of people that have been leaving comments on each of the last 5. You know, you got to do it on each of the last 5 that I will have released. And if you look at some of my prior giveaway videos, you'll see that I give away good stuff. And it costs me right now probably about $20 just to send out the box. So I would encourage you, take care, Uncle Al. I would encourage you to look at some of my stuff. My videos don't tend to be very long. Yeah, when I do a ration review video, that's a long one. But most of the others aren't that long. And I don't do videos just to do videos. I try to put out good stuff in them. Stuff that teaches, you know. And then of course I always show myself eating food, you know, like I love food, and most of my shorts are food related, you know, like what I eat or what I make or whatever. But I appreciate you guys coming in, and I appreciate your support, and I wish I had more time to reach out to each and every one of you and watch content from you on a regular basis. I try to watch content when I can, and I always leave a like and I always leave a supportive comment. Um, so that being said, when I get up in the morning, I thank God for the day. I drink my coffee. I take my medication. I say the Lord's Prayer. I get cleaned up. I go about my business. And everybody, please remember the scouting motto, the preparedness motto: be prepared. And everybody have a blessed day. And hopefully we'll see you again tomorrow for another edition of Coffee Talk. Thank you. I enjoyed it. It's a really good one. Thank you, everybody.